sides of one medal. In one hand, you have to pretend, you have to wear this mask which puts a lot of pressure on you to become this certain successful man, this certain, and everything pretty much is determined by him. I mean, even feminists emulate them or hate them, whatever it is. But this is this white middle class man. I mean, in the university, this is the group which is mostly hated, despised, hated, and so on. And Don Draper, in a way, once appears like him. His mask appears like this man, but deep inside he's struggling. He's questioning. He's not of noble blood. He's struggling with alcohol. He has a hate against himself. He cannot keep his family. So Betty Draper divorces him because he lied to her. This is, again, you can some sort of interpret this as, yes, she hoped for a chivalrous knight. She hoped for someone, or she assumed that he's something special. She assumed that he is this old man. She assumed he's this role model of a man, or epitomizes this man, this attractive man. But then she finds out that he is a crook, that he deceived her, and she then feels in a way deceived not for her emotions, deceived not because he had a lot of other women which she assumed or not assumed, but she feels herself betrayed of this ideal image of a man she had, and then she was some sort of betrayed, like a little girl who thought she got the high price, or a woman who thought that she had found Prince Charming, and it turns out it is only the peasant boy, and so on. So disappointment in that sense, and here you can again see that this arc, in a way, or the social foundation of this character arc in the society, especially in our millennial age. I mean, things have changed, especially now in the job market. Women have more and more are competing with men for jobs, or as well as create new jobs and so on. Despite the fact women are still struggling, yes, of course, this is still far away from equality. However, but women more and more compete with men. Women more and more sometimes question the dominance of men. So you are not only it does not go unquestioned that the man is in the lead, and so on. And this, of course, leads to a decline of manhood. We talked about this in gender. So there is a fragile manhood. There's some sort of this two strings pull at you as a man. The one string that pulls you in a way is that you have to become this ideal man, and the other is some sort of a questions it. This is what you have seen with male feminism and so on. So in a way you try to appease women, or want to help them and so on, but yet you somehow can't do it, or this is misplaced. This does not really help feminism and so on. So this is a lot of tension. And with Mad Men, despite the fact it was rather portrays manhood in the 60s and 70s, especially the decline of manhood. However, it would take still half, or it will take still 30-40 years, and until it is really fulfilled, or we are half a century, almost half a century military there, and still nothing really happened, despite that some women accused men of sexual misconduct. So women are still not there or are being treated equally in that sense. However, but you still have this decline here in the 21st century. You still have this decline of manhood, or this understanding of manhood in a way. In my generation, this like the free fall in the intro of Mad Men, this free fall of this madman who falls down from a high point. You could say this falling is still happening, so this has not stopped. So this madman who falls down the skyscraper is still falling. So the old customs, or the old value system where we in a way understand manhood, and so it still questions, but it still has some sort of one catch, if you want, that it is still being preserved, that it is still being conserved in that way. I mean, you could partially answer with Michel Foucault that the left, or many feminists, if you want, some sort of artificially maintain this androcentristic view of a man, or this image of pater familias, so that they have something to fight against, so that they have something to throw dirt against whatsoever. So there are of course many explanations for that, why this construct of manliness, that the man has to be in power, in charge, and so on, why this is still in one hand very attractive, appealing, in the other hand it is the question, but yet somehow starting, if you want, with the beginning, with the second wave of feminism in the 60s and 70s, this was questioned, but still it has preserved itself. It is still being considered as appealing. It is some sort of a hate-love relationship among the many feminists, because in one hand, of course, you have to be aware, I mean, it is of course easier to make something or someone responsible for everything that goes wrong in your life. Yeah, this is easier, and we know the psychological implications of this. However, but still, this manliness, this being strong, being on top, or this value system of what is a man, it has still preserved itself, despite the fact, if you want, that the gender was some sort of removed from it. So and nowadays, one would say, being on top or taking so much space, despite the fact that so many some sort of ranted and raved against that men take up so much space and so whatever. I mean, all nonsense came forward. However, despite the fact that manliness some sort of is still questions, but if you want, the insignias of power still are being preserved. If you want, I mean, we talked about Game of Thrones. This is what you see in the end with Cersei claiming the throne. So if you want this throne of Game of Thrones is some sort of this manliness, this androcentristic worldview, what many feminists want to fight against, want to hate, what many feminists blame to be the root of all evil. I would say partially, and we have to be here very accurate. It is not all this androcentristic worldview. There's a lot of culture and religion as well. However, they despise this worldview and so on, but then in the end they can't resist to seat themselves on this throne or even claim to be the queen and so on. This is something you have in Egyptian culture as well. I mean, with Hatshepsut and all these women, Cleopatra. Okay, maybe not so with Cleopatra, but with Hatshepsut and so on. So, or in general, some women who came to power, they immediately adopt male bearings. They immediately adopt some sort of, as well as male appearance. So this is what I think, saw with Hatshepsut, that she, in a way, in the beginning was perceived as a woman, but then more and more she adopts to male behavior, and this even has appearance, like her face becomes more rugged, if you want, and her posture more dominance, and so on. So this, if you want, still happens with feminism. So there's a hate-love relationship towards this towards this so-called patriarchy, which in that sense really not exists anymore. I mean, this is what you see in Sopranos as well. If you, I don't know, Sopranos is, if you watch it, Sopranos, then you see some sort of, there's a nostalgia of these old times when the mobsters, when the mafia was at the high peak. I mean, why the mafia? I mean, this is what you see in these mafia movies, and I think it was in The Godfather where this some sort of is explained why this fascination with the mafia among so many Italo-American youth. And one thing was that the mafia in its construct, or it is in a way imagined the mafia as some sort of a Roman Empire, or that you are some sort of Roman emperor with all your people around you. So you are the emperor, and all these people they are around you. You are some sort of, as well as a man, the pater familia. You are the head of your family. So this old perception, this old world, what might one assume, and so on. And this was in the past pretty much very vivid. I mean, this is what we talked about it briefly, which pretty much some sort of emerged in the French Revolution in order to bring order in this chaos, because with the fall of the nobility in the French Revolution, with the fall of the old order, everything some sort of deteriorated. The French were not capable some sort of keep order in order keep this democratic society alive, because of terror, because of Jacobin lynching, murdering. So it was a very dangerous time. And then the French Revolution, people thought, the only way we some sort of make a peace, or in a way still can keep some parts of the or accomplishments of the French Revolution alive, is that we some sort of put more emphasis to the father, that we give him more power, so that we don't have to go back to the old nobility, but as well as some sort of end this chaos, because this is what the French Revolution pretty much led to: chaos, to a high bloodshed, and it was not possible in a way to bring this to an end. And this is what then later happened with Napoleon Bonaparte. He became himself an emperor, and this was even approved by many people. Okay, admittingly, people were just exhausted. The terror had just demanded a high price. People were scared, and then some sort of people thought, it was back in the days when the king, when the French king was still around and was in charge. Well, things were not that bad anymore. So people some sort of turned that way, but in a way they did not really like the Bourbon dynasty and so on. And this then led